This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Monday, August 21st, 2006, and this is episode number 142 of Walt Disney World Today. I'm Matt Hochberg from MGMstudios.org. On the show today is Len Testa, co-author of the unofficial guide to Walt Disney World. Welcome, Len.
That never gets old, Matt. How's it going?
Outstanding.
Outstanding.
That never gets old either.
Yeah. I don't know about that. But anyway, the book thing is really cool.
We also have Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. Welcome, Mike.
Hi, Matt. How you doing?
Outstanding. Mike Scopa is still in the parks, handing out Scopa Tower buttons to anyone who will talk to him.
Spreading his Scopa love everywhere.
And we've also brought back for another show Chantel Crawford of DVCByResale.com. Welcome back, Chantel.
Thank you, Matt. It's a pleasure to be here. Hi, guys.
Woohoo!
And with Chantel here, we're obviously going to be talking about the Disney Vacation Club. Now, we brought Chantel on earlier, in an earlier show rather, to talk about the Disney Vacation Club, and there'll be a link in the show notes to that earlier show. That show was kind of an introduction to what the Disney Vacation Club is. And today we're going to go into some details here, because I think a lot of people, Chantel, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of people aren't, they understand what it is, but they don't exactly understand how it works beyond, on paper. I mean, the real world situations is what we're trying to hammer out here, right?
That's right, Matt. For some people, they understand the concept that points are involved and you use them how you want, but they want to know specifics about, well, does that mean a studio during this time of year, or does that mean it's a 2-bedroom at a different resort during a different time of year? So we're hoping tonight we can maybe clarify some of those and just offer some options that might help folks see how they can apply these points to their own vacations.
Great. Where do we get started?
Well, probably the easiest way to get started is to look at each of the unit sizes and just give a broad range of how much each of those cost per point per night. For example, the studios, anywhere from 8 points per night at Old Key West during the low season is a nice, inexpensive way to go down immediately and get a quick unit. And Sunday through Thursday night, it's so inexpensive. And then we've got the far side of that, which 44 points per night would be a studio maybe in a Christmas season, when things are on a Friday or Saturday night, which costs a little bit more points. But we'll get a little bit more into details here shortly. 1-bedrooms are going to range from 11 points to 80 points per night. 2-bedroom units range from 14 points to 111 points per night. And then they have the wonderful 3-bedroom grand villas, or also called the beach cottages, which they'll sleep 12 people. And you can get those for as little as 24 points per night, up to 196 per night.
Interesting.
And those rooms are fantastic.
What is new?
Those the Grand Villa rooms are fantastic.
Oh, yeah, those things are huge, aren't they?
Oh, I could live in one of those things. It's so wonderful.
Well, they sleep 12. And Chantel, with regards to that, how much they sleep, is that like theoretical things, like, well, if you put someone on a couch and this or that? I mean, what are we talking beds for the Grand Villa, for instance, where you said it sleeps 12? Is that 12 people, like 12 beds, or?
Well, no, you're gonna have to double up. There's gonna be a king size in the master, two rooms with 2 doubles in them, and I believe, what am I missing here? 2 doubles, master, and a pull-out sofa. So there will be one couple, if you will, on a pull-out sofa.
So what is that, like two-bedroom villas put together? Or a 2-bedroom and a 1-bedroom?
Well, actually, the 3-bedroom grand villas pretty much are standalone units. We had a wine and cheese party for Mouse Fest a couple of years ago, and one out at the boardwalk, and it was just delightful. People had plenty of room, but for example, the Old Key West are 2 levels. You walk in downstairs, you've got your full kitchen, you've got your full living area, you've got a porch out back. On your right is a master suite with a jacuzzi tub, king-size bed. You walk upstairs, you're going to have two separate bedrooms, 2 separate bathrooms, and then those are going to have 2 queen-size beds in each of those rooms.
Got it. Now, Chantel's prepared a lot of information about kind of like scenarios for different families, and we want to emphasize that although these are some scenarios, Chantel, there are plenty of other unsaid scenarios, and that this isn't like the end all be all of possibilities when it comes to DVC, right?
Exactly, Matt. What I've come up with is just an example to give some people some ideas of how you can spend your points. But in reality, your options are limitless. What you'll want to do as a family, and this is actually just fun for your family to sit down together, look at the points charts and say, this is where we want to go, this is when we want to go, and you can literally over the next 47 years just go to a different place all the time if you wanted to. It's neat. But hopefully some of these examples will give you some inspiration.
Great. Let's start off, Chantel, with a family of 4.
Okay. What I recommend for a family of 4, Disney's minimum package that they will sell is going to be 150 points. That will get a family of 4, which a studio will sleep 4 people. You can travel to any of the resorts for 1 full week a year. So if you're just going to start off with the very basics, that's going to work for you. You'll be able to stay in a studio at Old Key West during peak season, which would be Christmas or Easter week or any other time of the year. And then it will also allow you to stay in most of the other seasons at any of the other resorts for 1 full week. So if you just come to Disney 1 week per year, that 150 will get you covered in a studio for a family of 4.
And typically, what does that 150 points cost the family? So so it's a week a year, and how much money does it cost them?
Well, it would depend primarily on, of course, the resort, and assuming that they're going to buy it resale.
Okay, so assuming they're going to buy it, assuming they'll buy it resale, what's the least expensive option?
In Walt Disney World?
Yeah.
I would say Old Key West has been getting past Disney's right of first refusal for around $75 per point.
$75 a point, so it's 75 times 150.
Yeah, exactly.
So $11,250.
Thank you. My calculator's in the other room.
So $11,250 gets you a week in Old Key West in a studio from now until when?
2042 if you buy Old Key West, 2054 if you buy Saratoga Springs.
2042, so the next 36 years.
Correct.
And while Len's computing how much that is per year,
$312.50. Thank you.
Thank you, Len. Len had mentioned, Chantel, you were about to mention Vero Beach, and I'm sure some listeners, I know I wanted to know this information. How much cheaper is Vero Beach?
You can buy Vero Beach for around $66 to $67 per point. And I'm flexible with my numbers here because Disney has the right of first refusal on all resales. So if you do go the resale route, there's a 30-day waiting period that everybody has to go through, that Disney has the option to buy these under the same terms and conditions it's presented to them.
Got it.
So that has adjusted the resale prices over the years, and they have gone up slowly but surely. So that's why I can't give you an exact, but I can tell you that if you're buying from Disney, you're going to pay $101 per point,
Wow.
and resales will always beat them. So there's a significant savings there.
Great. Well, Chantel, let's move on to family of 6.
Well, before we jump there, if I may, can I give you a couple of quick examples of some other ways to use for a family of 4? I would suggest that 150 is just for the basics, but if your family tends to travel during peak seasons, and let's say that you've got 2 teenagers who really aren't going to be comfortable in a studio unit, then you're probably going to want to have a 1-bedroom unit. And so I would say that you might go up to 210 points and then spend those points accordingly. They may be a little bit more during one season, they may be a little bit less in another season. One trip, a studio may be okay. The next trip, you may want that 1-bedroom. For example, go ahead.
That's like a little over $15,000 for those extra points. But a 1-bedroom's much better than a studio. I mean, I've seen it both in DVC before, and the good thing about the 1-bedroom is you can put the kids to bed and then stay up. It's like a suite, right?
Right.
Like an embassy. Yeah, so you can stay up late after the kids go to bed and watch TV or.
And you've got a full kitchen.
Right. So I was going to say make fruity iced drinks or whatever, but adult beverages.
Nobody goes to Disney and drinks adult beverages. I don't know what you're talking
Exactly. It's all milk and oatmeal cookies for everyone, right?
That's right.
Yeah. But still, that's not bad. That's only like $438 a year.
Yeah.
$438 a
So
year.
you could take 4 nights in a 1-bedroom at the beach club during the adventure season for 88 points. Then take a weekend in the summer at Vero Beach in a deluxe ocean view room, and those two combined would cost you 146 points. So that's just another way that you could spend those points. That's a little different from just taking one solid week somewhere. Another option might be to spend Halloween in California for 6 nights in a standard view room at the Disneyland Hotel, or if you want to be very adventurous, go for 1 week at the Tokyo Disney Sea Hotel. Now, this would take a little bit of banking and borrowing, which I just kind of wanted to throw this out for the listeners to kind of see how you can use this. Let's say you're going to skip a year and go somewhere else, or just, maybe work has overloaded you this year. You could bank your points, and that Disney Sea Hotel trip would cost 322 points for that 1 week. Well, if you bought 161 points as your annual allocation, double that, and you've got a trip to Tokyo.
Interesting. Those are just some scenarios for a family of 4 again.
Correct. And it really boils down to the number of points, because I have seen people stretch points to their limit, especially if they only come Sunday through Thursday nights. They don't come Fridays and Saturdays. If you're able to adjust your schedule, you really can take 50 points and just get more time than just a week, which is what Disney, I think a lot of times people think, oh, well, I'm just going to be there one time and I'm going to have 1 week. But no, there's so much flexibility. You can come down for one night, spend 10 points. You can come for a weekend 2 months later. The flexibility is just, like we talked about earlier, there's just no limit to what you can do with the points.
Why don't you give us some scenarios for a family of 6?
For a family of 6, I recommend a minimum of at least 230 points and then a range of up to 500 points. Again, you want to look at your family's travel habits. When do we travel? If we travel during the peak seasons, we're going to need a larger unit. And the 2 bedrooms sleep 8 people. So you're going to have plenty of room in a 2-bedroom, but if you want to have a family reunion, you'll still be able to maybe get a grand villa if you go on the upper side and go closer to the 500 points. 1 week in a studio, 1 week in September at the block is going to be 222 points. So, and again, for the next 36 years, that's going to work for you.
Interesting.
Go
ahead.
We've got a Hilton Head family reunion, 4 nights in a grand villa there. If you've got grandpa's a golfer, you want to give him a trip, 196 points. You can bring the whole family, have the unit that sleeps 12.
I like Hilton Head. Have you been there?
I actually went there for the first time this year.
Cool. Yeah, I like it quite a bit. I like the beach. The beach is kind of it's very long and relatively flat, and you get like little tide pools and stuff. I like it a lot.
With Hilton Head, what kind of, I know at Disney, when you said a Disney World resort, or any of the resorts at any of the other parks, that you've got, obviously, the entertainment being the parks around there. At Hilton Head, and perhaps Len and Chantel, you could both explain to us, what do you do there besides sit on the beach and, take in the sun? Or is that your vacation?
No, definitely not. Hilton Head is known as a golfer's paradise. I'm not a golfer, so I can't tell you the number of courses. I can just tell you that you can pretty much throw a golf ball anywhere and it'll land on a golf course. The one thing that we did when we were there, which we absolutely loved, was we went horseback riding on the beach. That was by far one of the most memorable experiences of my entire life. There is a small island right off the Hilton Head Island, Daufuskie Island. Daufuskie.
Daufuskie?
Correct. They have a resort and spa out there. They have a beautiful place set up for a cabana for people to get married. You can rent the whole hotel if you want to. It was really neat. And this will be the first time this rumor is announced, but our guide told us that Disney had just bought some property there.
Yeah. Nice. So
Whether they do anything with it or not is you don't know if it's a real estate investment, but they did buy part of the island.
Cool.
wow.
Ooh, it's also the home of the International Junior Golf Academy. Wow, how about that?
Didn't know that.
Well, there you go.
Chantel, we've got time for one more scenario, if you will. So why don't you pick one?
Okay, well then let's go with the couples and single parents, because you have limitless choices. Actually, why don't we just do a quick calendar for 4 people? Take your pick. These are some of the things you can do. A weekend of golfing in Hilton Head in January would be 31 points. In February, you can come to Saratoga Springs for Valentine's Day and enjoy relaxing in the spa as a gift to your spouse or as a gift to yourself if you're a single parent. That's going to cost you 52 points for a Friday, Saturday night stay. In March, you can come down for a whole week of St. Patty's Day for 109 points at Old Key West. In April, this is a little off the Disney path. Go spring skiing in Keystone, Colorado. 4 nights will only be 72 points. In May, a 3-day shopping trip to the Shelburne Murray Hotel in New York City to go shopping for the latest summer fashions is 129 points. June, stay at the boardwalk with another couple for a 3-day weekend, only 63 points in the studio. July, check out the Southern Hospitality at Hilton Head for a week for only 132 points. In August, you can go to the beach, stay at Vero Beach for 102 points for a full week. September, head out to California, stay at the Grand Californian. 6 nights for only 174 points. Come October, things are getting chilly. Halloween's coming. The Wilderness Lodge is a great place to stay. Sit hot cocoa by the fire, only 36 points for 3 nights. November, Food and Wine Festival. Got to stay at the beach club, so you don't have to drive. Just walk over to Epcot. You don't even have to ride the bus.
You said walk, not stagger, right?
I said walk. You said stagger.
Okay, whatever. Tomato, whatever. Okay.
And then in December, of course, you got to be back at the Wilderness Lodge for Christmas. 141 points will get you a week, Friday to Friday of 2006. So for this year, you can get a full week in a studio unit, 141 points. All those together that I just listed off, or if you were going to take one trip per month for every 12 trips, 1,099 points. You could do that every year. And I've got single parent moms who I know have about 1,000 points each. Now, I think that the sticker price on that will shock most people, but it's just an example that if you really love Disney and you really want a vacation there, you're still going to save money if you go that route.
Well, Chantel, if our listeners have further questions, they can, of course, go to dvcbyresale.com and see what's available, and I'm sure you can point them in the correct direction. You also have an 800 phone number, don't you?
We do. It's 1-800-844-4099.
Great, and that phone number will be in the show notes. And that's it for us today. If you want to find older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, you can visit the Walt Disney World Today website at wdwtoday.com. You can also email us at questions@wdwtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, Mike Newell, and Chantel Crawford, I'm Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show.